Hello everyone, my name's Ellen and in celebration of March 2021's Women's History Month, I'll be looking and studying 4 influential female figures across the world. As a second part of this journey, I will, in the second presentation, evaluate the importance of Rosa Parks and discuss why she is considered a significant female historical figure. To provide a bit of a background, Rosa Parks was born on the 4th of February 1913 and died on October 24, 2005. At aged 11, Rosa moved to Montgomery with her family, where she attended high school until she was aged 16, where she had to drop out to look after her dying grandmother and later her own mother. But still valuing her education, she returned to get her high school diploma in 1933. She married Raymond Parks, a man 10 years her senior who was part of the NAACP, otherwise known as the National Association for the Advancement of Coloured People. Working as a seamstress and Raymond being a barber, they both were respected members of the African American community. The US at this time was an incredibly racist country, with segregation laws known as the Jim Crow laws making life incredibly difficult for the black community. For example, only being allowed to drink from specified water fountains, only being allowed to borrow books from black libraries, and children only being allowed to attend black schools. Although discouraged from joining the NAACP from her husband for fears of her safety, she joined in December 1943. Working closely with the President Edgar Daniel Nixon, an advocate for black people who wanted to register to vote. On December 1st, 1955, Rosa Parks was arrested for refusing to give up her seat to a white man on a bus. At this time, the segregation laws decreed that the front of the bus was reserved for white persons and the back for African Americans. If the white section was full, it was custom for the driver to ask a row of black people to stand to make space under the segregation laws for the white people. On Parks' release, Nixon and the Parks discussed options to address the situation. It was decided that the African American people would boycott the bus service on the day of Rosa's trial, on December 5th, 1955. Gaining momentum, the boycott lasted just over a year, with the formation of the MIA, the Montgomery Improvement Association, to manage the boycott effectively. On November 13, 1956, the Supreme Court ruled that the bus segregation was unconstitutional, and the boycott ended on December 20, 1956, just over a year later. Parks, who had lost her job and had experienced harassment all year, became known as the mother of the civil rights movement. So why is Rosa Parks significant? As she was considered the mother of the civil rights movement, she was clearly influential and significant in the way that the civil rights movement ran in the United States. She invigorated and brought attention to the struggle of the African American people for racial equality when she refused to give up her seat on the 1st of December 1955. By encouraging a bus boycott held by 17,000 black citizens in Montgomery, she became an instant icon in the civil rights movement, as the bus boycott brought media attention to the racial inequality in the US, but also as she was the face behind the Black American victory against the segregated buses. When she inspired the bus boycott, she had been secretary to the NAACP for 12 years, and she went on to establish the Montgomery Youth Council to ensure that children were involved in the civil rights movement and to give them a voice against inequality. In 1987, she established the Rosa and Raymond Parks Institute of Self-Development to offer job training for black youth to help them in the future. And in 1999, she received the Congressional Gold Medal of Honor, the highest civilian honor that can be received and honored in the US. What were the immediate effects of Rosa Parks? She became an immediate icon for the civil rights movement in America and acted as one of the most significant female figures involved. She inspired over 17,000 people to take part in a bus boycott in Montgomery to start the fight against the segregation laws, which led to a variety of positive changes in the civil rights of Black American people. As a secretary for the NAACP, she had direct involvement with the way that the movement was run, as she founded the Youth Council for Montgomery Children to ensure their voices were heard. As she personally valued education, she ensured that the Black youth community were given work training to ensure that they were appropriately prepared for work, so they had better opportunity at getting employed, with the foundation of the Rosa and Raymond Parks Institute of Self-Development in 1987. What were the long-term effects of Rosa Parks? She began and was part of the inspiration for the increased momentum of the civil rights movement, with her being the symbol behind the bus boycott of 1955 to 56 in Montgomery. She was seen as the mother of the civil rights movement, as she and others worked tirelessly to secure better civil rights in America for the Black community. By the end of her life, she saw the end of legalized segregation in America, which she had worked tirelessly for in her active role with the NAACP. She ensured that the Black community in America had the same opportunity to build businesses, have the same quality education, and have the same opportunity for employment in America through her work. The formation of the Rosa and Raymond Parks Institute of Self-Development in 1987 was a key step to ensure that the youth was given the education that they needed to get good employment. Rosa made a choice on December 1st, 1955 that changed her own world and the entire lives of the Black community in America for the better. Her influence and commitment in the civil rights and freedom movements in America got her recognised and awarded with the highest civilian's honour in America, the Congressional Gold Medal and the Presidential Award for Freedom. This recognition shows her as one of the most significant women of the civil rights movement in America. To conclude, Rosa Parks can be considered an influential woman in history as she worked to change Black American lives for the better. Her tireless efforts and continuous support for the civil rights and freedom campaigns in America ensured equality for all Black Americans. Her love for education and knowledge inspired her to ensure that the young Black Americans had the education they needed to succeed in life and get respectable jobs. And as the mother of the civil rights movement, Rosa Parks inspired the Black population of America to fight for equality and their rights. She can therefore be considered one of the many influential women of history that had a dramatic impact on the world and the people within it.